So, Shannon, were you talking to Jalen as he was tweeting there? Chris Broussard still here. How much blame does Durant deserve for the loss?
Well, I have to start here, Jen. If that was LeBron James, who went 0 for 6 in overtime and got posted up by Giannis with 1:15 left in overtime, great play by Giannis. I want to see more of that. Then despite playing a phenomenal game, I think a good friend of mine on this show, I'll let you guys figure out which one,
Shannon,
would be destroying LeBron. All of that 48 points, that 22-footer that could have won the game if it wasn't for his big toe being on the line, all of that would have been out the window. He would be getting killed. And I would be on here defending LeBron, and I'm going to defend KD. I think he deserves absolutely no blame. KD, the only reason they had a shot was Kevin Durant. He was awesome, and that shot that we all for a moment thought won the game, I know there's bigger shots, obviously more meaningful shots. They didn't even win. But just the skill, the spin move, it was one of the most beautiful shots I've seen in years. It was an awesome shot. I got to give KD major league credit. I mean, that is just incredible what he did. All right, there's blame to go elsewhere. If I have to put some blame on some Nets, and I want to give him, look, I can say Steve Nash for playing 7 guys, guys who had really helped him in this run. Mike James, TLC, Landry Shamet played 7 minutes, didn't get any burn. I could blame him a little bit for that. And I'm going to give him a little bit of a pass because of the hamstring. And it was a strain. Now he said after the game it was a grade 2 strain. So it's worse than we thought. So I'm going to give Harden a little bit of a pass. But he was 2 for 12 from 3. If he just hits one or two more threes, then they win the game. It doesn't even get to overtime. And I understand the hamstring. But when I look at Harden's history, I got to factor that in a little bit. In his last 8 elimination games, his record is 1-7. He has shot 18 for 76 from 3. This is one of the best shooters of the generation. And he is 24% from 3 in those 8 elimination games. Yesterday, he was 2 of 13 on open or wide open shots. That's 4 feet or more between you and the defender. 2 for 13. And then I could throw in Joe Harris. He was 3 for 8 on the same type of shot. So they're 2 of their best shooters just go cold. And I'll throw this in. At the end of the game, Kevin Durant was going 1 versus 5 or 1 versus 3. And James Harden was not, he didn't even have, I get it, you're hurt, you can't be yourself. He didn't have the swag. He didn't have the poise. He didn't have the Floyd generalship of a star, let alone a superstar. He was just, let's get past half court. I'm handing it to KD or waiting for KD to make some great move and get free, and I'm going to go stand and watch. I get it, you're not yourself, but just give me the poise. Give me the leadership of the star that you are, that you did in the first 3 quarters. And that was absent. And because Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton, who were horrific in the first half, and Holiday through the first 3.5 quarters, they stepped up and gave Giannis some help at the end, and that's why they prevailed. Nobody was helping KD. This wasn't even Luka or LeBron bringing it up going one-on-one. This was in half court, handed it to KD, and we're going to watch. And you just make magic. That's what it was. So I can't put this on KD one iota.
I mean, Brook Lopez did have 19 with 7 of 11 3 from. I
thought you said he was terrible.
No, Harris. This is what I knew you were in trouble, Skip. You look at the half.
Oh,
and Drew Holiday and Middleton was 4 of 22, and you only got a 6-point lead. And you talk about Holiday didn't play well. Holiday shot 36% for the series. Holiday didn't play well at all. And if you look at Middleton's number, Middleton averaged 31 points a game at home. He averaged about 19 on the road. So this game was prime set up. Now, The only thing I'm going to say is this, Chris. I want to assess the same level of blame, the same level of criticism that Skip Bayless would assess any other superstar in this situation.
Wait, are you talking about LeBron James?
No, I don't know.
I just need to know.
Strike that for the record. I'm going to ask the judge objection because you keep trying to.
Dame.
Thank you.
He would do it to Dame. He would do it to Dame.
Yes.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that LeBron James was never allowed to get tired, right, Chris? Kobe and Mike never got fatigued. You see what happens when they ask Kevin Durant to do what they've asked LeBron James to do for the entirety of his career in the playoffs, Chris, which is score, rebound, and assist. Blowed him. He had his historic game on Tuesday. He did do that, Skip. I'm not trying to deny that.
Virtuoso.
But guess what? But Chris, we needed it again. Now, Chris, what you didn't mention, the best player on the planet had a 2-0 lead. If LeBron James, the best player on the planet, got a 2-0 lead, what is Skip Bayless saying? What are all the LeBron haters saying?
What about a 2-1 lead in 2015 with Game 4 in your house?
What about?
How about it?
Hold on. He had a 2-0 lead. Let me ask you this. I know a man that had a 3-1 lead and had games coming back to his house. You remember that, Chris Broussard? He had a 3-1 lead, blew it. 2-0 lead, blew it. This is not a super team. I know you're trying to make that point that the Brooklyn Nets or Milwaukee Bucks. No, they're not. Giannis is a superstar personified × 2, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. But that's not a super team. And J. Ram is right. Because see what you do.
J. Ram?
Yeah, J. Ram is absolutely right. Because what you do when you try to minimize LeBron, you say the East is weak. But when you want to maximize Kevin Durant, you say the East is powerful. All I know, there's a lot of injuries. He wouldn't have had it any better. He had an opportunity to go to the NBA Finals, and all he had to do was to get through the Atlanta Hawks. And he's not going to be around. So where's KD? Where you at?
Maybe he's with Lagon.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going to take a vacation
And
together.
you know what?
I don't know.
We holding that boat for another 10 days because somebody else is going to be joining us too.
Who's that?
You know who it is.
Little maestro? Okay. Mr. Ramsey, as in Jalen Ramsey, small bones to pick with you. Yeah, LeBron cakewalked through the East back in the days of what this man called the baby dinosaurs. Remember that? Remember when George Paul was the solo star of Indiana and he kept running up against LeBron and D. Wade and Chris Bosh? Remember those days? Yeah, I remember those days.
Don't do that, Skip.
Remember when LeBron was up because he hit the shot heard round the world on the Orlando Magic in 2009. Remember that game? And what happened after that? I can't remember, but they were gone in 6 games. And then how about his final game, his first go-around in Boston? Actually, his final 3 games, it was 2010. His owner, Jalen Ramsey, accused him of quitting in games 4, 5, and 6 against the Celtics in 2010. Look it up. So I don't know. He used to just run through these. I don't know.
What would Clay Bennett say? Isn't he the owner of OKC?
Yeah.
What would he say about KD? What would he say about KD if you put true serum in him? After what happened, that 3-1 lead? Chris, what do you think he would say? After you blow a 3-1 lead and you go join the team that came back on you on the 3-1 lead? He would say
Kevin was right. He could never win a championship with Russell Westbrook as his primary decision maker.
It's always somebody else's fault.
Yeah.
I knew that you said that.
And then Kevin went in because they begged him to come and save them in Golden State.
They saved him too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, all he did was take over games 3 back-to-back years and won Finals MVP in both those years to prove then, once and for all, best player on the planet.
He had an opportunity to do it right there.
What about Game 5 this year and Game 7 that I watched with my own 2 eyes on Saturday night? It was absolutely clear as day at nighttime that he is the best player on the planet, and it ain't even close anymore.
What happened to Games 3 and 4?
I'm sorry what happened to LeBron.
What happened to Games
Phoenix.
3 and 4?
Milwaukee is really good. One of the top 3 defensive teams in basketball. And who is Kevin Durant's nemesis defender? It's the guy who went to his school, P.J. Tucker, who went to the University of Texas ahead of Kevin Durant. He just plays his tail off against Kevin. I thought he fought his guts out on Saturday night. And all Kevin did was in the first 48 minutes go for 48 points against P.J. Tucker. And all he did was go, as Chris aptly pointed out, and I tried to explain to this man to open this show, he went 1-on-5 the whole night. James Harden was a pathetic shell of himself, a cardboard cutout, just like CP3 turns into in the State Farm commercials, one that you could blow on and he would fall over. I started calling him Logo James because all he could do is not shoot from the logo. All he did was dribble on the logo, dribble, 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 and then hold the ball and look for Kevin so he could loop some dangerous pass to him so that Kevin could look up at the shot clock and say, my God, I got 5 seconds left. I got to create on P.J. Tucker. I'll go left, I'll go right, I'll spin, I'll fall away, and I'll make another basket. He was extraordinary, and he guarded Giannis at the other end, and yep, he hit the wall. He finally, playing every minute the last 3 games, he finally just hit the wall in overtime and had no lift left. And he finally shot an air ball on Drew Holiday to end the game because he had no legs left.
Chris, how many times have you done a show with Skip Bayless and somebody has mentioned fatigue with LeBron James and you said you can't use that? Great players, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant never got tired. You can't use fatigue. How many times have we heard him say it? When LeBron had 51, 8, and 8, that game 1, and many people say that was the greatest game I've ever seen him play. I said, Skip, he was dog tired. He can't get tired.
Chris will remember this. All I heard on ESPN in 2015 at the finals, I was there. Game 4, LeBron had played the greatest 3 games of his stretch of his career. I always give you this. Those 3 games when he obviously had lost Kevin Love going into Game 1 and lost Kyrie in overtime of Game 1 at Oracle, LeBron was he was on some other planet. He was the best player on some other planet for 3 games. Then all of a sudden he's got Game 4 in his house. They're up 2-1, and I'm thinking this is going to be the greatest achievement of LeBron's career. And what happened? Nothing happened. All I heard the next day was he wore out. He wore down. He got tired. Really? The man who pays what, like $2 million a year for his fitness wore down. That's all I heard. He went 7 of 22. He went 5 of 10 from the free throw line in that game, and they got blown off the floor because Steve Kerr inserted Iguodala into the starting lineup to defend LeBron, and Iguodala wins MVP of the finals. I don't know. So maybe Kevin can get a little bit of a out of gas pass.
Chris, what was Game 7? We talking about a Game 4 in LeBron's building, and he lost. What was Game 7 of this series? Now, I want to ask you this, Chris, because you say a quarter century. If I'm not mistaken, you say you covered the NBA for a quarter century. Which team do you think was better? Yes. The 2015 Golden State Warriors or the 2020 Milwaukee Bucks? Which team would you say was better?
Warriors.
I don't know. It's closer than you think.
And KD had more help for as much as Harden was a shell of himself. He did almost, 22, 9, and 9.
Yeah.
And Blake Griffin played pretty well. He had more help than LeBron had in 2015 without Kyrie and Kevin Love.
Time out.
You know that, Skip. His next guy was Matthew Dellavedova.
Yeah, who was pretty great.
Don't do that, Skip.
Well, he was.
Don't do that, Skip.
He saved LeBron in games 2 and 3. Well, did he not? Did he not make big shots down the stretch?
You see what he just did? So did Jeff Green save Kevin Durant in that Game 5?
Well, how about Game 7? Jeff Green, he played. He actually played 13 minutes. He didn't even take a shot in Game 7. What's that about?
You see what he did?
Landry Shamet, did he take a shot in Game 7? He didn't take a shot.
Jeff Green had 27
points. How much help did Kevin have? None.
Okay, but
zero.
In that historic performance, you didn't mention Jeff Green. You talking about boom, shot right between the eyes. He just proved to you. You didn't mention about that 20. You didn't mention about that 27. You didn't mention about that 19.
49, 17, and 10. Is that not a virtuoso?
Hold up.
3 steals and 2 blocks.
Chris, what have we asked LeBron James in the playoffs for his entire career? What you asked Kevin Durant for 3 games, they said, KD, this is what we need you to give us for 3 games. We asked that for LeBron for the entire playoffs, not for a series, for the entirety of the playoffs. Remember, Skip, his last year in Cleveland? He averaged 34, 8, and 8. Not for a series, for the entire playoffs. That's what he averaged. And you over here crowing, you up here like a rooster on a Sunday morning, waking everybody up talking 49, 17, and 10.
You need to sit down. You need to sit down.
He lost.
Come on.
Now I need you to tell me that.
He made one of the great clutch shots in the history of basketball, as Chris just detailed for you. It was a thing of beauty.
What did he get?
And his toe was about a half an inch on the line, or you're cooked. You're done. I thought it was over. over.
All right.
Chris, you know what I did? I almost won the lottery. If I'd have got those 5 numbers correct, I'd have won the lottery.
For you, because you're jumping out of your seat. You're not even in the shot at this point. So take a moment.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.